Nessa girl, you like this purple? Today I thought I'd do something real different. Nessa girl, it has been a while since we had just a random wild thought topic Wednesday. And this is one that has been on my mind for a while and my heart, and I have not gotten a chance to talk to y'all about it, but we're going to do it today. My question is, are Americans lazy in comparison to immigrants, foreigners, or whatever other interchangeable words you want to use? Or are we just dumb in comparison to immigrants and foreigners? And I ask this question because many times it seems to me that immigrants, foreigners, they come to America with the deck stacked against them. But fast forward 10, 15 years later, and they are doing much better than people who have 8 generations of family here in America. I have my theories as to why, and we're going to get into that towards the end of the video. But this first part, let me tell you the story that prompted all of this. About a couple months ago, I was in an Uber. The gentleman opened the door, picked me up. He said, "Quentin." I could tell he didn't speak English as a first language. When I got in the car, he was talking to me, which isn't an issue. Be friendly. But I do prefer to kind of play on my phone or get on my phone while I'm in Uber, while they play with the radio and turn left and turn right and listen to the GPS. Nonetheless, the gentleman said to me, "You won't believe I've only been speaking English for 10 months. So when he said that, I put my phone down and I said, let me get conversational with him, because that's why he was talking to me. He's trying to perfect his English and I'm here to help. So we were talking and I was like, oh my God, I would have never known you have only been speaking English for 10 months. I said, well, how long have you been in the country? He says, I've only been in the country for 10 months. So now I'm intrigued. So he begins to tell me his story, which is he was from Venezuela. He was a farm worker in Venezuela. And he was explaining to me that in Venezuela, or wherever the part he was from, if you don't agree with the revolution, that they will do bad things to you, throw you in jail, so on and so forth. So a lot of people ran to the States. So he said that he had a wife who had come to New York first with their daughter. So that's what gave him the, idea, let me go to the States to get away from the revolution and be closer to my daughter. The man said he left Venezuela with $250 American dollars. He said when he got to New York, he called the ex-wife and was like, hello, I'm here. And the lady was like, I'm not in New York. I live in Miami now. And he was like, basically, what the hell do you mean? I saved up all this money. I'm coming. You told me to call you when I get here. Why didn't you tell me a long time ago you're in Miami? And so now he's stuck with $250 in New York. No place to live. Don't speak English. He says that he found somebody on the street that was Venezuelan who pointed him in the direction of a Venezuelan community, if you will, and was saying that there are a lot of people who rent rooms to people who are coming over. And he said that he was able to rent a room from this lady for $150 a week. Mind you, he only had $250. So basically, he had a week's time to figure out where he was going to get some more money, because obviously he needed the other $150 to eat, so on and so forth. This man told me that he first got a job doing construction off rip or whatever. And he said he was doing a construction job. It was very hard, but it paid. Then he said somebody told him about a party catering company that do big parties in New York. The people that come break up and set down tents, set out the tables, wait service and all that. So he said that he did that. But he said that that job, because he was an immigrant, The people were taking advantage of them, working them more than 40 hours, but paying them nothing. So he says at the tail end of his tenure at this job, he went to get his check. His check should have had some overtime. And the man told him he didn't have a check for him. And he was like, you know, what do you mean I worked? And the guy was like, basically, you get nothing. You're an immigrant. You get nothing. And so, long story short, the man said he went and found some other, you know, little penny. Oh, he went back to the construction job. He worked there for a couple months to save some money to get to Miami. And he said on the day he quit the construction job, all the construction guys put their money together, bought beer and had a going away celebration for him and put a couple $100s in the car. And he started crying to me in the Uber because he said in America, nobody had ever been that nice to him. Long story short, and I said, sir, how long ago was this? And he was like, maybe like five months ago, maybe. Fast forward to the man now in Miami. The man driving a brand new Hyundai Sonata. He said he had a 1-bedroom apartment off Biscayne Boulevard somewhere, paying $1,100 a month. And he had on clean clothes. He looked happy. And he said that he was near his daughter and that he was doing very good for himself just driving Uber. And so when he told me that, I turned my head to the side like a confused dog, because here it is. I know Americans who have been out of work for 1 and 2 years at a time, who have refused to or unable to or don't know how to make the strides that this man made in 10 months. Like, y'all, this man looked good. He had a brand new car, a license. He had a place to stay and money in his pocket. And what I'm not understanding is, we allow the media in this country to trick us into believing that we need so much, that we need a 55-inch TV, we need Prada, Louis, and Gucci. We've got to stay in a 2-story with 8,000 square feet, have to drive a Benz. Here it is in 10 months' time, from start to finish, this man came over here to this country and got his life together, at least in a bare minimum capacity. A place to stay, a car, some clean clothes, and a steady income on the books. Now, whether the man had furniture inside his house or not, that's here nor there. But the moral of the story is, I know motherfuckers with college degrees who will get laid off from work and will sit there and lose every damn thing they got because they can't find work. And let me tell it, won't find work, okay? I know people who've gotten laid off, 2-income households don't got laid off, and because they could not find the type of work that they looking for, sat there and let their house get foreclosed, cars get repoed, kids got to get moved out of private school, so on and so forth. You know, I've grown to learn that cheap labor is the cornerstone of this country, right? Like everything from slavery time even to now, the big corporations that run the U.S. are able to make the money that they make because they outsource the labor overseas for pennies on the dollar. Cheap labor is the cornerstone of this country. But it just seems to me that immigrants come over here and they're programmed slightly different. I had this conversation and I'm getting to the theory as to why I think they do better than us. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have trained Americans in a big mass group setting to be group thinkers and factory workers, okay? We as Americans are not indoctrinated whatsoever to be entrepreneurs or to own our own businesses. We are trained from the time we are in preschool to work for other people. Therefore, our minds are set on, who is this calling? Therefore, our minds are set solely on finding a job, waiting for somebody else to give us a check, pat us on the back, give us a raise. I don't even think most Americans know how to think in the space of let me create my own opportunity. I look at a lot of foreigners, especially the people that we like to refer to as undocumented. And they come over here, particularly Asian people, and how they will start an Asian restaurant and they will do nothing else but serve rice and shrimp and pork fried rice out of a 200 square foot takeout restaurant. But the motherfuckers be rich because their way of thinking is, whereas we don't speak the language and nobody's going to give us a job, we gonna find some shit to sell. I look at the Africans, like the Nigerians that come over. I look at the Indian people. I look at everyone other than Americans, and they have figured out that when no one gives you a job, create a job. And they're mimicking the big corporations. Find some shit to sell. Everything out there, everybody needs. You just got to find a way to craft it to your people. So I'm not faulting Americans. It's not that we're lazy. It's not that we're stupid. It's not that we're dumb. It's about indoctrination. And we grow up and have come up in a system that has penalized us for thinking outside the system. The system wants us to be exactly what we are. Cookie cutter versions of college graduates who all go sit in a cubicle and take instruction from a man named Dan. All right. That is what American society wants us to all be. So the one percenters can continue to be the one percenters and we can continue to be slaves to them and consumerism. My Uber driver story, it just really made me point out what we can do when your back is up against the wall and you've really gotta make shit happen. I've got friends right now who bills are backed up and who have said to me, I don't feel like I should have to drive Uber with a master's degree. Well, I also don't feel like your ass should be put out on the street with a master's degree either, but I'll digress. Nonetheless, y'all, I think as we move throughout this life, so many times the foreigners this, the foreigners that, the foreigners this, but we need to look at some of the things that we can take from the foreigners, indoctrinate into our own lives to make ourselves better. And that's what was on my heart today, and I'm going to share it with y'all. I'll call you later, Nessa girl. Bye.